Amid the ongoing conflict, Gaza is facing a severe famine and humanitarian crisis. Tens of thousands of refugees are relying on aid just to survive, but that aid has largely stalled. Children are going hungry, and families have been displaced. Now, a new US-backed aid initiative, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, GHF, is preparing to launch operations by the end of May.
The current scheme that is proposed, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, appears to be an attempt for Israel to be able to supply just enough humanitarian aid to keep individuals alive who are not in any way associated with Hamas, and to prevent Hamas from getting any access to any relief food at all.
Although Israel has approved the foundation's operation and offered partial cooperation, the United Nations has refused to participate. The UN stated that the new distribution mechanism violates its three core humanitarian principles: impartiality, neutrality, and independence. The UN's top humanitarian official criticized the plan as a waste of time and warned that it could further displace people and turn aid into a political or military tool.
The use of starvation as a weapon of war is a clear war crime. Every single child in Gaza today is at risk of famine. And what we have been hearing from the ground is absolutely harrowing reports. Families are being forced to feed their children everything from animal feed, flour ground up in sand, leaves, grass, whatever they can find just to keep their children alive. And the entire Gaza Strip is at risk of famine.
The emergence of this initiative is meant to fill the gap left by disrupted aid channels. In early March, Israel completely halted aid to Gaza, accusing Hamas of diverting supplies and refusing to release hostages. The UN declined to cooperate with Israel's proposed new mechanism. Caught in this deadlock, the United States shifted to support the GHF as an alternative solution.
The proposed scheme under the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation provides less. It will have, in the first phase, about 4 distribution centres, down from 400. In the second phase, it may expand that number. The ration that they are providing is less than the humanitarian ration provided by the United Nations. None of the specialised services, such as supplementary therapeutic feeding for malnourished children, are part of this package. These are all the reasons why the United Nations and most professional humanitarians are very critical of the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation scheme.
But the plan has drawn heavy criticism. Many aid organizations argue that GHF's scale is too small to meet Gaza's overwhelming humanitarian needs. Some observers suggest this may be part of a strategy to weaponize aid, providing only minimal survival support while attempting to isolate Hamas and its support network.
If there is a reduction in the number of sites where people can access assistance, that would effectively reduce or exclude the most vulnerable people in Gaza from accessing aid. How are the elderly who have been starved supposed to walk miles and miles to access humanitarian assistance? How are children who have no parents supposed to enter what may be militarized zones to collect assistance? How are people who have been injured, who are disabled, supposed to go long distances to access assistance? That's not feasible. That's not practical. In addition to that, humanitarian assistance is only humanitarian when it's delivered independent from political and military objectives.
Notably, a study from Tufts University suggests that the strategic intent behind GHF is to use tightly controlled aid to weaken Hamas' network of support, a tactic reminiscent of historical counterinsurgency strategies, such as those employed by Britain in Malaya or the US in Vietnam. Currently, the famine in Gaza has reached a critical level. International organizations warn that up to 500,000 people are on the brink of starvation. Reports have surfaced of families being forced to feed children with animal feed, sand-contaminated flour, or even leaves and grass just to survive. Against this backdrop, the question remains, how much can the GHF really accomplish, or is it merely a drop in the ocean? The world is watching closely to see what impact this new initiative will truly have.